Go ahead and start the regular council meeting of the city of Ellsworth for Monday, January 27th, 2025. Let's say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'm gonna do a roll call. Okay. All right, our agenda tonight's a little different. We've got an executive session right off the bat, correct? How many minutes do we need?
15, 20, what do you think?
I think I got 15.
I think so.
All right, so we need someone to make a motion here.
Should be included.
That's right.
Oh, sorry.
City administrator, city attorney.
In vacation mode still.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn into executive session with the city administrator, city attorney for consultation with the city attorney. The subject matter to be discussed shall be a legal matter involving the city, and the justification is preserve the confidentiality conversation under attorney-client privilege until 5:45.
I'll second that. All right, President Council Coates has made a motion and Councilor Bernard has seconded that motion to move to recess into an executive session with the city administrator and city attorney for consultation with the city attorney. The subject matter to be discussed shall be a legal matter involving the city. The justification is to preserve confidentiality conversation under attorney-client privilege until 5:45. All right. So who's in favor here?
Aye.
All right. Anybody opposed? All right, motion carries. Here we go. We're going to go into executive session.
Registering to vote.
Yeah, so good. Came in at 5:30. Extra stuff. We should have read the other day.
5:30.
Yes.
All right, so everybody ready to continue? All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the consent agenda. This includes the water and sewer termination extension request, the approval of the January 13th, 2025 public hearing minutes, the approval of the January 13th regular council meeting minutes.
Two requests for extension now.
Okay.
Did anybody see anything bothering? Okay, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, Councilor Renard has made a motion to approve the consent agenda. Councilor Hanson has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, moving on. Petition of the delegations. For all comments, please state your full name and whether you are an Ellsworth City resident. All comments are limited to 5 minutes per person unless the governing body has further questions. Would anybody like, do we have anybody on our list? All right, Don, come on up, Don.
My name is Don Hoffman. I've basically been coming to Ellsworth since 2001. Met Don Panzer is the first welcome interface. And
Yeah.
so we still lived in Denver at the time. We were driving back and forth to a property in Minden County. So when Denver turned into a not so nice place, we decided to go to Ellsworth. So we've been here for about 3 years. We purchased the old Doc Winter's place out on Avenue JJ. And with our intention, we'd be in the county and we could build a building. We found out that there were too many easements across the property to really do that. The power line easement and there was a pipeline easement as well, which so we started looking at other options as far as building behind the house to the west of the house. And found out we didn't have much room there either. So there's a red line there that we were told was the property line. It was not, the white line is a property line. And so we looked at how could we put a building back here between the power lines and the closeness to the other property lines. So we approached the Owens family about purchasing an acre or so of land to the west, so we could put a building back there. And the way it stands right now, you know, I guess everybody we talked to verbally said that the land to the west of us was in the county. So that started with our realtor. We also had the appraiser at the time come out and look at the property. He agreed. So everything we've heard is that land adjacent to us was in the county. So we purchased an acre from the Ellis family, and we come to find out that basically that's city. So the way it stands right now, we could probably put a building with half of it in Ellsworth County and half of it in the city. We like it close enough to our residents that we didn't have a long ways to walk from the house to a building. So I guess what I'm here to say is I think I tried to do due diligence on this whole thing, talk to people, and probably that was my biggest mistake is that I talked to people and not actually got the facts. So we had the survey done, and we got the results of the survey, the paper. And on the survey, the surveyor said this to be part of the original parcel in Ellsworth County. So I guess what I'm asking is, can we try to get this 1.2 acres de-annexed from the city back into the county? So I have one continuous property in one jurisdiction, as we hoped it would be all along. So I don't know what that entails, if there are fees involved, I'll cover the fees, but I'd like to have one piece of property that I can put one building on versus having, so I tried to do my due diligence.
Sure.
And it's just, it was wrong. So before I erected the building, I thought, well, let's do a survey, and this is what I found out. So I don't know if it can be de-annexed, or I don't have any idea how that works legally.
Do you have any input on that, Alan?
Yes, I do. I was brought up today this here a little bit from Delvin. My recommendation to the city commissions is do not de-annex that land. And because this, I'm told, was annexed by petition, not by, it was not unilateral. I mean, somebody says annexes in, and they annex the parcel in. A lot of times when it's done unilaterally, we say, we're gonna force you in. And when you force somebody in the city, you have to like do a utility plan or do an improvement plan. And if you don't follow it, they can say, well, no, you didn't follow item 5 or whatever the case may be. This is not, one of the things that you use when you try to annex anything into the city, if you're going to do any unilateral annexation, you always look for squareness of boundary lines. This would not make the boundary lines of the city now square anymore. You do have a lot of costs now. You have a cost of one, there's have these public hearings with the planning commission, and then here, of course. And then, of course, you got a remapping issue, which is a cost of doing that as well to the city. You know, the other option, of course, is to annex, is to him petition to annex to come into the city with his house property. That's the other side of the point you could do too. I mean, is he can annex into the city and then he'd have one contiguous piece of property inside the city. I mean, that's the other option, you know, and again, I can understand why they don't want to do that, but that is an option though for him to annex his present building or maybe other ones out there into the city.
But then he would be liable for city tax then on this property, right?
Right.
I can see why he's probably not wanting to do that.
But, you know, as a city council, you always want to grow your area and your tax base, and that's important too. And as your millage is going to where it's at, I mean, that's an important factor from a government standpoint, is you want to always continue to grow your millage, your assessed valuation, not your millage, assessed valuation. So you have a larger base there. That's why, you know, and again, remember, it might set a precedence. And so then you have jagged areas of the city around, and I don't know how this all got brought in, so, you know, maybe somebody else will buy ones this.
Well, we put that sewer line in there for Carrico, that's how that all got.
Yeah, but it was
for that, to do all
I
that,
understand it was by petition though, so it was a choice.
that's why that came in,
But they agreed to it,
yeah.
which is different than forcing an annexation, which you can do too, there's ways to do that.
Yes, you know, if it comes down to having to build a building, half in the city and half in the county, I'm not gonna build it. You know, which.
And that would cause, I mean, and that's gonna cause some problems too, I mean, just, you know, very
Yeah, well,
well.
I agree, that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
So I spent money to do the survey. I thought I did due diligence in this whole thing. And I made the mistake of taking word of mouth as people that I talked to knew what they were talking about. So I'm kind of stuck with a useless, well, the lot I currently own. Between the easement from the power line and the gas pipeline, there's really no place to put a building. And I didn't realize that when I first looked at the property. And then the red line across this map is where I told the property line was. And because there's a fence that runs through there. So people assume that there's a wire fence that runs through there, that's the property line. It's not. So all the way around, I guess I trusted local people to know what they were talking about.
Yeah. I kind of feel for him in this situation that he bought everything in good faith, but yet I don't see why we wouldn't be annexing into the city myself. If it was me, that's why.
I don't wanna, I'm not really for this because all we're gonna do is somebody's gonna buy another chunk and then we're gonna go county and then we're gonna go county.
I don't think Ellens will do that because I'm
Well,
talking.
we don't, I mean, we don't,
No, but I had to,
when you're gonna have people all over doing that. I mean, you could if you're gonna, like, describe.
When was the last time we did this? Does anybody know? I mean, they have no way of knowing, like,
DN?
so this is the one piece of property.
We haven't.
Probably never, okay, so this is new, so this is different,
This is different than.
this is different.
And then we kind of breezed over it. This parcel is in a TIF district, so we would have to
Yeah.
figure out how that affects anything, that changes taxes.
That was all for that Carico deal.
yeah,
I know you said it, but I don't know what that implication is.
Okay, if we annex everything he has into the city, would that change the boundary line also?
Yeah, the boundary line of the city would then have, but that's by petition though, he petitioned to come into the city,
Uh,
you're not forcing him to. You'd say you are, but he petitioned to get in the city, so he can do what he wants to do. Yeah, then you'd have a jacket there, now the question would be is down the road, do you as a council want to annex everybody beside him then, because now you have contiguous properties and everything else.
Yeah.
And that's for another day,
It's
you know.
big, it'd be a big mess, is what it'd be.
Not necessarily,
Not necessarily.
I don't think our neighbors would go for
Would you want, what would you say if we wanted to annex your property into the city?
it. I don't want to pay the higher taxes.
Yeah.
You know, if I
I
have
can
to,
see that.
if I have to build in the city, I won't build.
Yeah.
So you can't build a shop there on this,
No,
you can't.
well, because basically the power line has a 10-foot easement on both sides of that. That white line adjacent to our house is actually the property line and the power line. So there's really no room to put that. That's why we approached Ellens to buy some land to give us room for a building. So I thought I did my due diligence, like I said, started this process, I think in 2022. We heard from several sources that the land adjacent to us was in the county, and so we acted upon that. So, I don't know what else we could have done, we went to the expense of a survey. And, I feel sorry for the city having to redraw a map that the survey's already done. And it's a legal, certified survey. So I don't know what else I can say is that, I feel I was, did what I could do. And now it's just kind of nowhere.
So I guess the surveyor didn't know about all this?
No, in fact, on the survey note, he's got to be adjoined to the adjacent property.
But he didn't check any of the city, county and all of that,
No,
do that
He
background,
just took.
he just surveyed. Yeah,
well, that's not platted, so it's a fact, instead of meets and bounds description probably. So it's probably not platted, but yeah, it's still in the city.
So I agree. I think one of the maps I looked at was still considered county. So,
And again, I don't know,
yeah, I mean, I guess I know now.
Council, I recommend this case here that if you want to have, some city attorney look into the, what the annexation would take as far as cost and everything else. And again, then you have, of course, the other one, as Councilman Bernard says, do you want to set a precedent? That's something you have to decide. I don't decide it. You guys decide if you want to move forward. So, and at least looks the idea of it. Some cities would say, no, we don't need to de-annex because you always want to increase. And of course, there's nothing wrong being in the city. I mean, you complain about taxes, but there's nothing wrong with living inside the city. We all do, and I plan to. And so there's nothing wrong with being in the city. Everyone's like, well, you got this, but you also got services and he does too, because he has city water, which he pays a little extra for.
But
But
city sewer as well,
your city sewer too?
yeah.
Oh, okay, so he has a lot of services already, and yeah, he pays us a little upcharge, but not, you know, not what everybody else down pays too, so you got a fairness issue there on that side too, that he got the same services as majority of people in your town, and granted, he has a gravel road out north of him, but within, what, a quarter mile, it's now asphalt, so again, a city-owned street.
But the advantages of an annexation, what would they be?
You're part of the city, you know,
Multiple properties, like Tyler said.
you're contributing,
if
you're
he wants-
contributing to.
Then he could build the shed, but he's just gonna pay more. That's what it is, right?
He'll be city property.
One contiguous.
He'll get the city mill levy, yes.
Right. And from a philosophical standpoint, that's a stronger move for a city to make, it's not always the annexing.
Yeah.
I think so.
I agree with it. And what, I don't see why you start giving them ground.
When I,
County.
when I talked to the Ellis family, it was one of those things that was on the condition, you know, what we're gonna do with. I don't think they'll still own the land, because I thought I could extend this a little bit farther south, no deal. At first they said, well, that's farm ground, we can farm it, and Ellis Real Estate came out and looked at it and said, this is waste ground, it's all sand. It's got a ditch ran through it. So, you know, I don't think they're gonna sell anything else off. That's my,
So the value of annexation, what you're saying, you doubt is there.
what's that?
The value, you're saying there's no value to annexing your property and others, there's no value to that.
No, I don't think,
If somebody extends a property line like that and they want to move the power lines, is that ever an option?
It is, but it ain't cheap.
I
no.
don't know.
I mean, it's.
I'm not gonna,
I was just saying that the building then would maybe give you the opportunity to stay
Yeah.
more on your side of the line, you
Right.
see what I'm saying? And
Oh, yeah.
you wouldn't have to deal with the,
we talked to the power company, they're the one that came out and laid out their easement for us. And that's what's kind of in our whole idea of building this building, because the easement on the power line. It just made it impossible to build, and that's when we started looking at trying to move something further west. So, and, you know, and once again, trying to move a power line is extremely expensive.
Mhm.
But you still couldn't build it on the, you know, west of that easement, a shed there and that, there's not enough room to build the shed in the city? Or not, I mean,
In the city there is,
okay, that's all, so you still could build,
right,
okay.
and then I've got a building in the city and a house in the county.
Which now causes another problem we have to deal with, so. The best answer is annexation of it all, I mean, that's the best answer, you grow your city boundaries. Which is important, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the city growing in valuation. And when you do your budgets, that's very important, so, you know. Ultimately, though, it's your decision, you know.
I think I would be in favor of you and Patrick kind of putting together like, what would this benefit and
We
stuff.
can do that.
Feel like I need more information
Yeah.
to make a good
Just,
decision.
right now, I feel kind of a fool.
No, we only.
Yeah,
You know,
you were led astray though too.
what's that?
You were led astray, kind of.
Yeah,
You were told things that weren't accurate.
right. So, you know, purchase a house based on what I was told orally.
I guess what we're gonna say is that our city administrator is gonna get with our city attorney and work out a cost plan for both parties to see where we're at.
Oh, no, we'll bring it back to the council.
Bring it back to
And,
council.
and then the council discuss if you wanna move forward with, or you wanna take a flat stance on no de-annexations. You know, that's what I think it's gonna boil down to.
Okay.
Everybody agree with that?
Yep.
Very good, thank you.
Okay,
Don.
thank you, Don.
I guess thank you. Yeah.
All right, any other, we don't have anybody else on the list, right? All right, moving on to unfinished business.
Karen, that's something.
Karen, come on up.
Okay, I'm Karen Schreiner and I do live in the city. I want to thank the city for cleaning the streets. They did an excellent job. Our pastor from the Methodist Church wants to especially send a thank you to the city for cleaning the streets before we had our funeral this week. And we really appreciated that was done so that the people could park without walking on lumps of snow and stuff. Now, where our church sits and the office on Third Street, there's like that much water out in the street, and we can't get across it. Is there anything that can be done about that water? It needs to drain somewhere on Third Street, rather than just sit there.
Troy's on, see Troy back there. I'll discuss with Troy in the morning. What's the address?
It's the corner.
It's Third Street, it's Douglas and Third Street,
It's with a stoplight.
With the stoplights on there.
Yeah.
yes, and there's over 2 foot of water out in the street.
I'll be
that you
with
can't
Troy
get
at
to the
7
curb.
morning.
Okay, thank you.
Could I just second what she said, because it was our family that had the funeral and we really appreciated the streets and everything being cleared. It was very nice.
No one else? Okay. Moving on to unfinished business, special assessments refund.
Did you go?
Yeah, as you know, Ken Arnold wanted to get that, special assessments from the mowing the grass and everything refunded. And Dustin made a deal with him if he cleaned up the property that it would be all right, and then he got an extension. And he did get that, one on Third Street done, the one that with the house on it. Needs a little more dirt work done, that it's perfectly fine. The only other thing is on the one on St. Louis is has some lumber on, but he said he would get that moved out soon, so. So everything that we asked, he's done.
So in your opinion, you think it's fairness to him to return this money then?
Yeah,
Okay,
like I said, he said he'll move that lumber off the
Okay.
St. Louis, so
that's what we had him for, to make those recommendations to the cities.
yeah.
I'll make a motion that we refund the gentleman's deposit, refunded.
It's not in box, it's the assessment that was made by the city of Bowen.
Okay, by the assessment of the property, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
What-
Very good.
just so everybody understands it, what happens is when properties go to tax sale, the city office certifies any expense the city had by on or about September 1, give or take, okay? And if something happens after that, and the stuff goes to property tax sale, like in May of the next year, for example, that assessment does not get taken off by the court. The court just takes anything that's been assessed, like when you buy a property on tax sale, you pay all of that year's current, those taxes. Like if I buy a piece of property, they're prorated, or you sell it, they're prorated, but in case tax sale, you get them all because they were not assessed at the time of the court, so that's why cities have this, and of course, you made the decision to give the money back, so
Okay.
that's what follows up here tonight.
Okay,
Have you ever seen people give the money back, the assessments? Is that
I hear
something-
towns that do it, I hear towns that don't.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I thought that was kind of weird you did that, but
Yeah.
you did, so.
I think that was the agreement that we had. with-
Yeah.
So, well, you voted on it, I mean, I didn't know if that was a normal thing you did.
I see it on both sides.
Okay, cool. All right. Do we need the amount? Or just?
We have-
All the assessment,
I think it's
there's like 17 something.
Yeah, I had all
17, 50,
Yeah.
right there.
Okay, 1780, first amount of 1787.50.
I'll second.
She really lost it.
Who made, Don made a motion?
Yes, please.
All right. Counselor Panzer has made a motion to return the assessed fee of $1,787.50, and Counselor Hanson has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, next item on the agenda, new business, Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month proclamation. I've got a little proclamation up here. Come on up, sir.
Thank you for having me here.
Sure.
Jalen, I'm the youth advocate over at DVAC. I'll be reading the Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month proclamation for February 2025. Whereas 1 in 3 adolescents in the United States is a victim of physical, emotional, or verbal abuse from a dating partner. A figure that far exceeds victimization rates or other types of violence affecting youth And whereas 1 in 10 high school students have been purposely hit, slapped, physically or emotionally abused by a dating partner. And whereas high school students who experience physical violence in a dating relationship are more likely to use drugs, alcohol, or are greater risk of suicide and much more likely to carry on patterns of abuse into future relationships. Whereas young people victimized by a dating partner are more likely to engage in risky sexual behaviors and unhealthy dieting behaviors, and the experience may disrupt normal development of self-esteem and body image. Whereas nearly half of teens who experience dating violence report that incidents of abuse took place in a school building or on school grounds. And whereas 9% of teens who are in an abusive relationship ever tell or never tell anyone about the abuse, and 81% of parents surveyed either believe teen dating violence is not an issue or admit that they don't know if it is one. Whereas by providing young people, parents, and professionals with education about healthy relationships, warning signs of abuse and relationship skills, and by changing attitudes that support violence, we recognize that dating violence can be prevented. And whereas the Domestic Violence Association of Central Kansas needs all of Ellsworth to work towards ending teen dating violence by empowering young people to develop healthier relationships, assisting victims and accessing the information and supportive services they need, creating better and more resources for young people in need, instituting effective interventions and prevention policies in schools, and engaging in discussions with family members and peers to promote awareness and prevention of the quiet epidemic of teen dating violence. Now, therefore, the City of Ellsworth City Council hereby designates February 2025 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month and urges citizens to recognize and assist all those who serve the rights and needs of victims of teen dating violence.
Take it, Ellen, can you take a picture? No, Darcy, we have to work with him. You want to go to the, we'll just face Darcy.
Let me stop with you.
Probably people heard it.
Got it.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Okay. New business, Cowtown Days Committee request for the use of Prisker Park. Jeannie, come on up.
Jeannie Klein, I live outside of the city. So before I did make the official request, I want to bring you up to speed on some of the changes that we've made to Cowtown Days. The Ellsworth Cowtown Committee decided to resume the event in 2024, using the name Cowtown Days to maintain its heritage, despite being paused the year past. In doing so, we've created some unknown chaos. A part of the community assumed that we were resuming Cowtown Days that took place in Cowtown Plaza, while the up and coming generation knew that something was about to happen, something in Prisker Park. Regardless of what we did, both required a large number of volunteers to make it happen. Volunteers we simply didn't have. What we learned was that the use of the name Cowtown Days alone was misleading. So in 2025, we decided to change the name of the event to Rhythm and Reels and maintain the components of the event that are sustainable and were most enjoyed and require the least number of volunteers. Thus, we will have a children's movie on Friday night and a concert on Saturday evening featuring 3 bands. With the council's approval, we will still have the event the first weekend of August, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We'll extend the curfew to midnight with your approval. We will still have beer consumption in the park alone with your approval. I presented a street closure form to Troy, who has given its approval. And we will have the splash pad open in conjunction with the street water program, whatever's going on with the water at that time, with your approval. We'll also provide insurance and the KABC alcohol license when the time allows for that. With your approval.
What is this going to be called again?
Rhythm and reels, so music and movie.
Reels, okay.
Oh. I was thinking something cowboy things.
What about are you still gonna do the hanging, the shooting, a sheriff, and then the dancing girls?
Not at all.
Why you're not, that's part of the original Cowtown days. isn't
So
it?
we're not
That's what they're
doing,
getting away from.
That's what they're getting away from.
the volunteers required to do that was not possible, and the population wasn't appealing to that, just
Okay.
number of people.
Because that was the big question, was this last year, people asked, are they doing that? I said, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, we weren't.
Okay,
The volunteers to do the shooting alone was just insurmountable. The parade, for a variety of reasons, didn't work out. It became a huge problem.
So no parade either?
Yes, sir.
No parade.
The parade actually was picked up by the Elkan Rodeo. They're gonna have it the weekend of their event.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good to me then.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the use of Preschool Park for the 2025. It says Cowtown, but I'm gonna go Rhythm and Reel
Yes, sir.
event to include the sale and consumption of alcohol at the park contingent on the completion of any city forms and procedures.
We need to include street closure, because you said you,
Street closure, extending of the curfew, and opening of the splash
And
pad.
a street closure, extending of the curfew and opening of splash pad.
Correct.
I'll second.
Council Renars made a motion to approve the use of Priester Park for the 2025 Rhythm and Reels event to include the sale and consumption of alcohol, changing the curfew. What else was it?
Street closure.
Street closure,
Using the splash pad.
using splash pad. As far as we can take care of that. President of the Council, Coates, has seconded that motion. Any debate, any concerns about this? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations, Gene. All right, next one would be the honoring of police officer Mickey Burney and celebrating his retirement. Chief, do you want to come up?
Not make it here tonight. Read this off.
Yeah.
Want to? Go for it.
All right, whereas Officer Mickey Burney has dedicated 34 years of service to the law enforcement profession, serving as a peacemaker and leader, 24 of said years with the city of Ellsworth. And whereas throughout his outstanding career, Officer Burney has held roles from the Garden City Police Department, Nickerson Police Department, Morton County Sheriff's Office, Haskell County Sheriff's Office, and the Ellsworth Police Department, from patrol officer to deputy and chief. Consistently demonstrating exemplary leadership, integrity, and professionalism. And whereas Officer Burney's contributions to our police department community are significant and far-reaching, fostering strong relationships between law enforcement and the community, and mentoring and training numerous officers. And whereas the city of Ellsworth owes a deep debt of gratitude to Officer Burney for his 24 years of dedication, selfless service, and outstanding leadership, which have earned him the respect of his colleagues and community members. And whereas Officer Burney retired from his position on January 24th, 2025, it is fitting and proper for the city council to formally recognize and honor his extraordinary contributions and to extend our heartfelt thanks and best wishes for his future endeavors. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the governing body of the city of Ellsworth, Kansas, Section 1, the city council hereby commemorates and honors police officer Mickey Burney for his 34 years of service to the law enforcement profession and 24 years of dedication to the city of Ellsworth. Section 2, the city of Ellsworth extends its deepest gratitude to Officer Burney for his remarkable service and outstanding leadership and wishes him a fulfilling and enjoyable retirement. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force immediately upon its adoption. passed by the council on the 27th day of January 2025.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chief.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Officer Bernie, too.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2025-11 to commemorate Officer Mickey Burney's service to the city of Ellsworth.
And I'll second it.
All right, President Council Coates has made a motion to honor Police Officer Mickey Burney in his retirement, and Councilor Panzer has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
All right, opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to the approval of the window replacement project at the Health and Recreation Center.
So, just want to give you guys an update. We applied for a grant through the Dane Hansen Foundation. Here probably 3 or 4 months ago. And basically, you know, not all the renovations were done out the rec center. You know, initially when we started that, some of the windows still needed to be replaced. So we applied for this grant and it was probably for $112,000, and that was to include all those windows on the south side, upper windows on the south side of the building. The windows on the maintenance side, down low on the south side, and replace all the stone seals under the windows. Came back about $50,000. So with that money, we're gonna replace all the windows on the upper side of the south side, if that makes sense, and all the stone seals underneath the windows. So, and then remove the old fans that are on top over the gym. They're just kind of an eyesore. So, so that basically with those three things, because we have to remove the fans, but as far as the windows go, the roof covering on that south side bay, they attached it to the stone seals, so that will have to be pulled back, and before they can start work on the windows and the stone seals. So, so that came to about $49,800 and some dollars. So, so yeah, that's what that money is going to be spent on, with your approval. But we have received the check and looking forward to getting that project completed. You know, with your.
Any questions for Ron on this? Aaron, okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the window replacement project at the Health and Recreation Center in the amount of $49,316 and not to exceed $50,000 with work being completed by Glass Services Incorporated, Casby Smith, Stanfield Roofing, and Ryan Roofing. The project shall be funded by the received Dane G. Hansen Foundation grant and paid out of a capital improvement item number 050-10-6149.
I'll second.
Counselor Hanson has made a motion to approve the window replacement project at the Health and Rec Center. Counselor Johnson has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck on that, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations. Good job.
We'll see.
I'm not done yet.
Okay, go. I'll get it in.
What else do you want?
I'm asking for anything.
You guys expensive.
Yeah.
So the next item on the list there is a dolphin slide up at the pool, little kiddie slide.
Yep.
For years, that mushroom we've had issues with. Nobody likes it because it's loud. It doesn't get utilized very much. So we thought maybe a little kiddie slide, you know, would be nice in that area. So I kind of took it upon myself to see if I could raise the money to make that happen, and I did. So just with your approval, I would like to move forward with purchasing the dolphin slide and have it installed for the amount listed.
Is that in the zero entry,
Mhm.
like for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
How I'm just trying to picture this thing. I'm just curious. how-
Yeah, it's the old slide, the little circular slide.
No, this is the mushroom.
It's right in the zero
The
inch.
mushroom. and you
But
come
it's the
to
other,
that.
there's two slides there now, right?
No, there's just one.
One big one.
That one's been going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
well,
took that out a long
So
time.
how tall is this? Like, is it, like, how tall?
I mean, it's probably, maybe 3 foot.
3 foot.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Yeah, if you come up with the money, you got the plan, I don't see a reason why not to do it.
And Horse Rider was they donated quite a bit for it, but we had a lot of local organizations.
Is that the typical price on a slide that size?
That's kind of what I thought.
Okay. I was gonna say.
There's nothing cheap.
But they donated,
Yeah, I know.
So,
they donated 22,000 for
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, the side's actually 20,500, but then there'll be some installation fees and stuff.
I'm
too.
sure a lot of that's liability insurance.
Yeah, so.
When this says playground on it,
Yeah.
but that's what you want in your park, so too, so
Right.
don't,
In the wrong business.
Right.
25, I think, when was the pool built? What year?
88 or 98.
98, and we donated the first slide up there, the round circular slide. So Panzer's too valuable at that time.
Okay,
Yeah, I have one of the old slides in my.
And then you have one of the old slides
Yeah.
there. too. Yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve. the
Sells you for 20,000.
That's a heck of a deal. I'll make a motion to approve the dolphin slide installation at the Ellsworth swimming pool in amount of 20,575, not to exceed 22,000. Work completed by Associated Supply Company and corporate vendors for select installation and plumbing and electrical feed. City staff will help with the installation as well.
I'll second.
All right, Counselor Panzer has made a motion to approve the dolphin slide and installation for the Ellsworth swimming pool. Counselor Hanson has seconded that motion. This is not to exceed $22,000 of work to be completed by the Associated Supply Company Inc. and vendors we select for installation of plumbing, electrical if needed. City staff will help with the installation as well. Any discussion, debate, concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank
Congrats,
you.
you. Thanks.
I think that's, I'm your guy. That was there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Right on. Okay, next item on the agenda is the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG grant. Hello.
Keegan Bailey with the North Central Regional Planning Commission. And I have been in conversation with the city in regard to what housing needs are available. And one program that the city has utilized before in 2 prior years has been this CDBG program. The amount that is still available for the city to go after is $300,000. And this helps with low to moderate income level of housing for rehabilitation as well as demolition of dilapidated structures that are past their useful life. The map that is included in your packet shows structures that are still in need of repair. So both showing the older parts of town and that they're structures. Now, whether they were structures when the 2 prior grants went forward, or if they were beyond the point where funds could be utilized to help them to get to that actual useful life again, it is unknown without doing further investigation. So what I have before you today is to see if the city would like to go forward with going after one of these items. And I'll see the second page of the write-up is that unfortunately there is an application cost that is pending our executive board's approval of $1,500. And then if the city would be awarded the grant would be $4,500. Any administration costs should the grant be awarded would actually come from the grant funds itself and not have another requirement of the city. So do you
So all
have
your risk is $1,500.
Yeah.
plus,
Approximately.
plus the 4,500 with the environmental fee that
Oh,
is required
okay.
to be on the local, so
So you have
maximum
$6,000,
6.
and if you get the grant, it's reimbursed.
Right. I think this is a good program.
Yeah,
Of course, what happens now, if you give the go-ahead, there's a public hearing, some other things that have to happen that you would do.
And that's all included within our
Yeah.
application fee.
so do we need a motion to proceed?
For the, yeah,
I would say, yeah, motion to proceed with the.
It's on.
Yeah, sounds good, use it then. Delvin did a good job, yeah. Okay.
It's right there.
Delvin's done all the work of this, so give credit to him.
Great job, Delvin.
Right on page 30.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the North Central Regional Planning Commission to proceed with exploring the possibility of preparing a CDBG housing and demolition grant application with the Kansas Department of Commerce and to allow NCERC to host a public meeting to get information and the grant program to the public.
I will second that.
Counselor Johnson has made a motion to approve the North Central Regional Planning Commission to proceed with exploring the possibility of preparing of a CDBG housing grant application with the Kansas Department of Commerce to allow NCPRC to host a public meeting and get information of the grant program to the public. Counselor Renard has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Keegan.
So
Appreciate
our
Thank you.
next steps will be, I will work with Delvin, Administrator Dinkle in regard to determining a date that would be best for the community to have that public meeting. And we'll make sure that we stay, informed with the rest of those steps.
Great,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, we have, kind of wrapping it up here, we have department heads, city inspector. Dellen, did you have anything?
I have no more.
Okay, all right. Fire chief is he here? I don't see him, okay. Golf is not here. Police chief, did you have anything else, chief?
No, sir, have nothing more.
All right. Rec director Ronnie, do you have anything else?
Yeah, one more thing, just to update you. Travis, that's all. No, we got that the Smoky Hills Community Foundation grant money, for new lighting and those exhaust fans out at the rec center. Well, the lighting has now been installed, so that's complete. Then we made a big difference out there, so, if you're out there, just take notice of that, so. Yeah, just wanted to.
Thank you. All right, streets is not here. David, did you have anything?
Not this time, but all good.
Yeah. Alan, okay. Did you have anything water and sewer, Alan, any updates?
No, I'll give all my report.
Okay.
I got hold of this here.
All right, city attorney is not here, city clerk, deputy city clerk. All right, Alan, did you want to go?
Yes, and you'll find out I always have something to say. A couple things that I'm watching do is you'll receive the email. If you have a city email address, take the dang training.
I did today.
Because it was put in place because the city, had the computer problem a few years ago, very costly to the city, so we provide that. And I would recommend your council to use, when you do city business, use your city address, not your personal address. If something ever goes backwards and there's any litigation, and if you use the Gmail address, guess what?
Yeah.
They're going after your Gmail too. So it's there to protect you as everybody else, as part of what the city's doing, and encourage you to do that. Even though I'm in the interim position here, I do follow state legislature because there's a lot of things coming down state legislature, some hearings the next couple of days that I'm following. A couple of them have to do with 3 mile extraterritorial zoning, and you have that here now. You have zoning out to 3 miles. There's a push to get rid of that. There's hearings in the House, Senate on Wednesday and House on Thursday. Don't think I'll be testifying, but nevertheless, that's, and everybody, you in this county, in this city here, you adopt 3 mile zoning, and it had to be approved by the county commission. They have to agree. It wasn't something you just do. And some cities don't go out the full 3 miles. I mean, when I was in Houston, we went out to a section line because we didn't want to circle. We went to, it was like when I 1 mile this way, half a mile this way, 2 miles that, whatever the case may be. And there's a push to get rid of that power. But you realize what aside your city limits may have an impact on your city. Like you go to the west, why you want to have it zoned is because you have water wells out there. And you don't want anything to happen that could contaminate your water wells, or at least, potentially affect the people of the city. So a lot of good things, but that's coming up. You're gonna hear a lot of property tax stuff in the state this year, push right now to lower the school mill levy from 20 to 18.5 mils. But the other thing out there right now, which again, I'm not school side, but once I got into your school, the other one is and it would end up being a constitutional vote. It has to go through 2/3 of the Senate and the House, and then it'd be in the constitutional ballot next November, is to limit the amount of increase the county appraisers can do on your property every year to 3%. That sounds like it's a good thing, but as the city grows, expenses grow, and the house values increase, of course, everybody says house value increase when taxes go up. But the problem with one of these, and I'm a real concern about this, because if you had a house and it's built ready, and then I build a house now, and his is locked in place, and we have the exact same houses, that if his locked in for 5 years at a 3% increase, and my brand new one costs 50% more, now you're gonna have in the same block, mine appraised at a lot more money than his, which now causes a lot of real estate problem and everything else. So I know everyone wants to hold taxes down, but again, property tax are not a bad thing. I mean, yeah, you have to pay them, and I hate paying as much as anybody, but that is what funds your streets, your fire, your police, and everything you do in your pools and everything else. So it's that nice mix there. Do you want to congratulate Ron Kendrick on the work he's done with getting grant money? I think it's always good. We need to employ their employees when they bring outside money to do city projects, with these property tax dollars for. Very important, and I appreciate that. Angela and I had a meeting with Carl Brown this morning on the sewer and water rates. We're probably going to bring a proposal in March to increase sewer and water rates. And it's like I said in my report that I sent you on Friday, there's gonna be some sticker shock. One is you froze rates 5 or 6 years in a row, and you had inflation come bite you anyhow. One thing, as long as I'm here, is I'm a real pusher on having cash reserves. There's a rule of thumb on water and sewer to have a minimum of 6 months, if not 1 year, of unencumbered cash reserves. That way, if something goes south, you've got money to take care of it, and you got the funding in place. And I've been on the electric side and, for 20-some years, my city government in 3 cities. And we would try to be closer to 2 years because big transformers cost a lot of money and they blow up when you don't expect them to. So, have to have that in place. So these things but that'll probably come in March. The thing we have to watch is even the rates have to go up. I think we have to be careful how we do the rate increase because we need the revenue. But we gotta be careful we don't shock the financial impact to the people in town as well. So, yeah, we're going through that, and some of the things Carl wanted to do, I'm not in favor of, so we'll work that and bring a proposal in March. So everything I would remind you is, as long as I'm here, I keep pushing Tacoma and Cora. I'm a big believer in we get Kids Open Records Act. So that's why when I send you commissioners' letters, you will not see your name on there because I BC all of you all. That way you can't make any mistakes. And I think that's important to do because it's just something that we have to do all the time. And so I have everything on there. So, if you hit reply or reply all, it's gonna go back to me and that's it. And
I took the class this week.
okay. But
So I think I'm caught up.
oh, on the computer stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I meant on the code floor stuff. The way we have, when I send you an email, like I said, you don't see your name on top, it's you're all getting BC. You're all gonna get it, trust me on that. And you all get it. That way you don't take you can't, if you have to, if you I want to send another, I don't have a question. And you hit reply, and you accidentally hit reply all. You can't do it, because reply, if you're BC, you can't, all you reply to is me. Which now it's just, and again, nobody does it on purpose, it's just happens. And we've all done it, we reply all we shouldn't, so that's why you get. And that's the way we operate around here. It's like, so it's BC. When I was in Chuck City, I had my own IT departments. We had a group of commissioners that you could not answer back. We put things in place because we're all humans, and I get that. So we really watch that everything there. So getting to meet more and more towns, see my schedule's filling up, I'm going to housing in the morning and everything else we're gonna do, so learn more about time. If you have any questions or calls, or when I send you a note, send them back to me if you have any questions. You know, I'm gonna continue to send out the reports, and you're gonna hear philosophy from me if you like it or not. Because I think they're based on 35 years' experience, and that's where I got where I got. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. My city council, Tyler, do you have anything?
No.
President of Council Coates, do you have anything?
No.
All right, Council Johnson, do you have anything?
No.
Council Panther, do you
I
have
just
anything?
have one thing and gonna surprise Alan with this one. We have lights on our water tower. Did you know about the lights on the water tower? No. Yeah,
I know a little bit about it.
okay. So anyway, we've been working on this for a year about them not working, so the company evidently sent new computer boards. And we tried to do it and couldn't. We need to find out if we have a legal recourse towards the people that we bought the lights from, because that was a mixed up deal. I wasn't on the council then, but didn't one of the previous administrators have something to do with purchasing those lights?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be nice if we get them going, so I don't, yeah, I didn't want to say for sure, it costs it like $20,000. But if they can't get the controls to work for them, are they liable then, this company, or can we get an electrician and make it so it's got manual? Change it from different colors, you know?
We need to look at the purchase order.
Yeah, we need to look, I know you have no idea what.
I know about the lights because all city managers in Kansas knew about lights. So, just so you understand that.
I think that they don't have the code to change. the
Well, I
laws,
think Patrick Hamill's been working with them in the golf course,
Okay,
and I think he said he got the code, but he couldn't get them to work. Was that right, Ronnie?
Yeah, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but yeah, Patrick's been round and round and the company has switched hands like 2 or 3 times and what they have here recently, what they seen, they just don't match up. And he's tired of messing with it and yeah,
He's not getting any support from the company at all.
no,
No. So-
basically when he, like I said, it's switched hands 2 or 3 times and the latest company he's dealt with to even get, you know, what he needed back took forever and what they sent doesn't work and it just doesn't, from what I've understood, they just don't match up.
Yeah,
And
so if it's something that the company won't back up, is there some way
let me look at the
we
car.
can do something different?
Let me look at the PO and everything else.
Sure. I just wanted to tell you about it, but it was surprise you on it all at once. That way, you've got a lot being thrown at you all at
We're
once.
okay, we're okay.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Councilor Hanson, do you have anything?
No, the only thing is, I think we need to make sure if we have another snowstorm like we had, people need to be reminded that they're supposed to clear off sidewalks within, what is it, 48 hours of the storm or, because I do feel bad for the male people, like, that have to traipse through all of that and, you know, I just think that it's just a courtesy too for people, there are kids that walk and there are, and so I've just seen a lot of sidewalks that did, and I know the snow was heavy, I shoveled mine, but there are a lot of sidewalks that did not get cleared off, so I think we just need to remind people that, I think we have an ordinance that says within, 48 hours or whatever, you're supposed to have sidewalks cleared, so I just think we need to remind people of that.
Should we get anything else? All right, I have no comments tonight, so if someone would like to adjourn the meeting, greatly appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All right, Councilor Coates has made a motion to adjourn the meeting, and Councilor Hanson has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.